This is the Hovcart. We're gonna get into all the details of this. I'm gonna take it out on my initial test ride and give you my first thoughts and what I think they could have done better and what I love about this bike. Let's jump right into it. All right, guys, I've got a massive amount of e-bike stuff here. Now, this is supposed to be the Hovsco cart, which is their cargo bike. They sent all kinds of accessories from running boards to a back seat to a couple of baskets. Let's go ahead and open this up and see what this cargo bike is all about. Now, the first thing I want to go over is the assembly. This took me about 45 minutes to an hour to get this fully assembled and to get all the accessories assembled. I still have a few steps to go depending on how I'm going to configure this bike. The Hovcart is fully assembled and I think this bike looks really nice. I absolutely love the pop of the color that the orange brings. The logoing on this looks really nice. It seems to be set in underneath the clear coat. So now this bike does come set as a class 2 e-bike, but you can unlock it to a class 3 if that's what you want to do. You just have to download their app and agree to their terms of service, and it'll unlock it to a class 3, allowing this to go upwards of 28 miles an hour. This setup is almost completely stock except for these foot pegs right here. These are an additional add-on. Now, at the time of reviewing this, they are throwing in a ton of free accessories. So you may want to take advantage of that if you do decide that the Hovcart is the bike for you. So back here on the rear rack, it's absolutely long, so you can fit all kinds of cargo, and it's super sturdy. The tubing on this just looks absolutely durable. And again, the 6mm bolts on here are definitely more heavy duty than what I've seen on some other brands. It does come with this nice wooden kind of top of the rack right here. This looks really good. But if you do want somebody to sit on this, you probably want to pick up the cushioned seat. And the cushioned seat will just mount right here. You remove this wooden rack and then this just bolts to the top right here. That way somebody has a nice soft seat to sit on, and whenever you hit bumps, it's not so jarring. Now, if you're carrying small children, they do have this little safety rack that you can mount up here. You would remove the wooden panel, mount this rack set up here, and then you would install the cushioned seat. So your kids would be able to sit on here. If they're small enough, you should be able to fit 2 children on here. And they've got these nice little padded bars, but this is a great setup if you have kids and you're wanting to take them places like maybe to the store or to school. Now, the setup that I'm gonna go with is going to be this rack. I really enjoy these on some of my other cargo bikes that I've reviewed. These little racks are great for if you go to the store, you can hold all kinds of stuff in here. Now with this one, you will use the bolts that come with it, and then it'll just mount up just like this. With this, you wouldn't need these foot pegs, but I kind of like the look of the foot peg. Now, the only downfall that I can see with this whole entire setup is it doesn't look like there's a good place for pannier bags. I don't know if you could buy a pannier bag that would kind of lay over this whole top here, and then you could mount this rack to it, and then you could have pannier bags on the side and have this storage basket up top. That's just something that you want to consider. If you do want pannier bags, you're going to have to look for some that will specifically work without the bars that they mount to, because these bars are way too thick for a standard pannier bag to mount up. Now, looking up front here, they did send me this awesome front basket that's mounted to the actual frame. So having a basket that mounts up front to the frame means that you can put quite a bit of weight in here. This says 10 kilograms, but a nice front basket is really cool, especially if you're going to be using this as a cargo bike. Generally, the front end of cargo bikes are a lot lighter, and sometimes the wheels can wobble a little bit. So I like to distribute any weight that I can up to the front first and then to the back of the bike. That way it kind of balances out the overall bike, because there is just so much weight in a cargo bike in the back. All right, well, here we are out on the Hovcart. Let's go ahead and test the PAS levels. This is PAS level 1. Seems to get us up around 12 miles an hour. Pedal assist level 2. Now, this does have a torque sensor, so it's a little bit different than, say, a cadence sensor style cargo bike. And we're looking about 14 miles an hour. Pedal assist level 3. Now, the pedal assist feels nice and smooth on this, and I think a lot of that probably has to do with the torque sensor. I'm just trying to apply an even amount of pressure across the board. Getting up to about 17 miles an hour. Pedal assist level 4, giving it about the same amount of pressure. I'm in gear 7, the hardest gear, and I'm starting to slightly ghost pedal, but we're getting up to around 19 miles an hour. Now pedal assist level 5, and it's not showing It's not showing us getting up above 20. Now it's currently showing that I'm at class 3, but I'm having a hard time getting this up to 28 miles an hour. Check if there's any other settings. Here, let's connect it. Maybe that will help. Okay, now we are connected. So now that I'm connected, double check, class 3. All right, let's go ahead and give this a go again. Let's go ahead and see what this is gonna do. Oh, feels like there's a lot more power. So this might actually work. You may just have to have it connected to the app to get this to work. Yeah, that's better. So I did have to be connected to the app. We're on pedal assist 5, going about 24. I've got slight pressure. I'm not quite ghost pedaling yet, but I have a pretty high cadence. So expect around 24, 25 miles an hour. Now this is gonna come with a Shimano 7-speed thumb and trigger shifter. Now this 7-speed shifter is going to be linked up to an entry-level Shimano rear derailleur. Now this does come with some hydraulic disc brakes. I've never heard of Radius, but they have some nice features on it. Like you have a lever reach knob built onto this that you can adjust by hand. You're not going to need an Allen key to do that. So if these levers aren't quite far enough out for you, or you need to pull them in a little bit more, you can do that by adjusting this little red knob that's in between the lever and your grip. Now it does come with 180mm rotors, both front and back. Now a lot of cargo bikes that I have reviewed do come with these really high-rise handlebars. This is going to put you in a nice upright position, making it really comfortable and easy to control the bike. It does come with dual lock-on ergonomic grips. I like the fact that these are dual lock-on. Sometimes with the single lock-on, if your hand's towards the edge, you can kind of feel that grip spinning just a little bit, but whenever you use a dual lock-on grip, you don't have to worry about the grip moving on you at all. And over here on the left side, you are going to get a thumb throttle. So if you like thumb throttles, this is going to be on the left side. If you wanted to, you should be able to move it over to the right side. That's all personal preference. And then next to that, you are going to get a very simplistic but usable control pad. You've got a pedal assist up and down button. You've got a headlight button. And then you have a power button that will also cycle through some of the menu options on your screen. Now, the Hovcart does have a very interesting screen. This looks to be specifically made for this company. You're gonna get your pedal assist level, your battery level, your miles per hour or kilometers per hour, and then you're also gonna get your trip or your odometer. And this particular screen is really easy to see at night and during kind of just normal afternoons. But if you get it in really, really bright sunlight, I do find that the font is a little bit dark, but you can still see it. It's just not as bright as what I would like it to be. Now they do supply you with front and rear plastic fenders, which seem to do the job relatively well. Now this does come with what I consider a name brand kind of budget friendly fork. This is a Zoom fork. It's nice to see that they went with a Zoom branded fork instead of just one that was just a no-name brand. This is an entry-level spring style fork, so you're not gonna get a lot of suspension out of it. It's not gonna be super smooth, but it'll be smooth enough for this style of bike going down the road. Now this does have a rear taillight and a headlight. The headlight comes in just like all other e-bikes that I've seen. Now, if you were going to be doing a lot of night rides, just like on all my other videos, I strongly recommend purchasing a separate light that's designated just for night riding. And Magic Shine makes a whole bunch of those. I'll put some links down below so you guys can check out those lights. Now the rear tail light, it does not have any turn signals. It does have a brake indicator, so whenever you squeeze these hydraulic brakes, it will light up the light on the back. Now I did find that the tail light does sit up pretty high in this rear rack, and it's only got one LED at the very top. The bottom of it is a reflector. I do wish that this was a little bit higher end rear tail light. Now, as you guys can see down at the bottom, it does come with a cargo bike style kickstand. So it's got 2 feet, and basically what that does is whenever you've got a cargo bike, you don't want it to be leaning, because whenever you load, say, your kids on here or your groceries on here, you don't want that weight to be pushed over onto a single kickstand. You want it to be evenly balanced out, and that kickstand be strong enough to be able to hold that cargo by itself. Now, Hovsco did put on a pretty nice seat. This is pretty comfortable for commuting around town, and it does have a nice handle on here. This is kind of an essential thing when you're talking a cargo bike. You need to be able to lift up on that back seat to be able to maneuver this around, because if sometimes you get these things into a situation where you have to pick the bike up to kind of turn it, and having this handle here really does help. And I've got to say, after riding a little over 7 miles on this bike, the seat's actually pretty comfortable. I was a little hesitant about it because it looked kind of like a basic seat, but overall, this seat would definitely do the job and get you there in a pretty comfortable style. Now the Hovcart can hold a lot of weight, 450 pounds of max payload on this. Now this bike is a 48 volt system and it does come with Samsung or LG cell battery. This is going to be a 15 amp hour battery. It's not a huge battery, but they're claiming on pedal assist 1 with pedaling, you would get about 60 miles on flat ground. So this is going to be ideal for kind of running those short errands. If you're going to be within, say, a 15 to 20 mile run with wherever you're going, this one's going to be the one for you. Now I found with cargo bikes, I generally stay within a 5-mile radius of wherever I'm at. So for example, I'll run up to the store and maybe pick up some stuff, or maybe run to UPS and drop a package off. I'm not going super far from my house, so seeing a 15 amp battery is big enough for the type of stuff that I would be doing on a cargo bike. So that is one thing you want to consider whenever you're looking at this particular cargo bike. Will the 15 amp hour battery work for you? For me personally, on a cargo bike, this is definitely going to be big enough of a battery. Now this does come with a 750 watt sustained 48 volt motor in the rear hub. They say that this will peak out at 1300 watts. There's nothing on the screen to indicate how many watts you're actually putting out, so we'll just kind of take their word for it. One of the things that I've noticed about this bike cruising around, even though it's got a big 750 watt motor, it's very, very quiet. Most 750 watt rear hub motors are just pretty loud. All right, guys, we are here at the 19% hill right there. This thing is the hill test that I do for all of these style of e-bikes, and I think the Hovcart could do potentially pretty well on this. This bike seems to be doing good so far. It's having a hard time getting up to those true class 3 speeds, but overall the ride is really smooth. It feels really torquey with the throttle, but nice and smooth with the pedal assist. And that torque sensor is doing its job. I apply a little bit of pressure, it gives me a little bit of power. I apply more pressure, it gives me even more power. So the Hovcart is doing a nice job. Overall, this bike feels pretty much in line with its price point and the parts that are actually put on this bike. So let's go ahead, let's not waste any more time. Let's get this bike going up this hill and see what it can do. How I do this, I put it in pedal assist 5 and I get up to speed with my throttle, and then we start pedaling up there. That's gonna be a test of how quickly it goes from throttle to pedal assist, and also how well the pedal assist will push you up this big hill. Let's go. All right, pedal assist 5, let's go with throttle. This bike is torquey with the throttle. We're gonna go up to this next crack right up here, getting up to 16 miles an hour. Switched over to pedal assist pretty quick. There was only a small moment of hesitation, and right now I'm in gear 7, which is the hardest gear. We got up to 19 before we started getting to around the 10 to 12% grade. It levels off just a tiny bit here, and then it starts going up to 12 to 15%. And at this driveway, we're gonna get up to that 19%, and that's usually where it pushes these bikes really hard. But we're maintaining about 18 miles an hour. I can already feel that motor really having to push, and I'm starting to put a little bit of pressure on this. The shifting under load did a very good job there. I have to shift again, staying at 11 miles an hour. I'm in gear 4. Got a little bit of chatter in the gears back there. It might need a slight adjustment, but it's still shifting good. 12 miles an hour, 13. All right, there we go. The Hovcart did a pretty good job getting up that hill. I would say it was an above average performance, keeping me around 11 miles an hour. So now that we know a lot more about the Hovsco Hovcart, let's go ahead and go over some of the things I love about this bike and some of the things that I wish were a little bit different. The first thing that I love about this bike is all the accessories you can get. They pretty much nailed it when it came to a cargo bike with the front basket, the rear basket, the really large rear rack that comes stock on it, the foot pegs, and you also have the child carrier if you plan on carrying some kids around, or just the padded seat. They also offer a few other accessories on their website, and if you want to check those out, I'll put a link below so you guys can look at those. But overall, as a cargo bike, the Hovcart definitely nailed it. And the second thing that I absolutely love about this bike is the comfort. This is really set up to be a super comfortable ride with these high-rise bars, these dual lock-on ergonomic grips, a relatively comfortable seat, And also to add to that comfort is the peace and quiet of riding this bike with that super quiet 750 watt motor. Now let's go over a few of the things that I wish were just a little bit different. The first improvement that I would ask for on this is a display that works just a little bit better in bright sunlight. And that may be as simple as just changing the color of the font that's displayed on the screen. The lighter color that's on here, when you get in super bright sunlight, it is a little bit difficult to read. It's not impossible, but it does make it a little bit more difficult. Something that was just a little bit brighter in the bright sunlight would be absolutely awesome. And the last thing that I wish was improved just a little bit is this rear taillight. I wish it was dropped down just a little bit so this bar wouldn't block it so much. And I wish it was a little bit brighter. This taillight works great at night, but during the day when most people are gonna be using these, you still want this to be visible to traffic that's behind you so they can know whenever you're slowing down or stopping. And so there you go. That's my review of the Hovcart by Hovsco. And I think that if you guys are looking for a cargo bike, this is one that you should definitely consider. Coming in at a sale price of $1,700, I think with all the additional accessories that they're throwing in right now, this bike is priced really, really well and definitely suits the purpose of a cargo bike. And again, if you guys want to pick one of these up, you can use my links down below. They are affiliated, so that does help out this channel, but it's no additional cost to you. All right, guys, if you like this video and you want to see more of these type of reviews and other bike review content, go ahead and click that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me a comment and tell me what you think of the Hovcart. And of course, get out there and ride your bike.